And welcome in, Gyms and Gymettes, to another exciting episode of No Substitute for Sports. Yes, I did in fact shave. You can only say nice things in the comments or else. My name is Nick Johnston, coming here live, watching the Bulls blow their lead. Yeah, they were up at least 15 at the beginning of this game while we were recording. And sure enough, they're blowing it away. Like I said, we're coming at you. A lot of action packed stuff. We got some wrestling to start us off. Usually, we got some NFL to get into, and a little bit of basketball, a little bit of baseball to get into as well. Had some breaking news as today. Glad that we do this a little bit later so we can gather up all the extra stuff that no one talks about just yet. Either way, we get started, let me introduce you to my cohort over here, co-host Mike Fatcat. How the hell are you?
I'm great, man. Thanks for having me again.
Hell yeah, dude. No, thanks for joining in. This is what we do. It's always, be a little lonesome bouncing off ideas off myself. Like I always say, it's like, yeah, Nick, that's a good idea. Yeah, I'll be my own number one supporter over here. So obviously, it's good to get over here, get a little back and forth if we can. So like I said, episode number 3. This is gonna be a good one. A little fun little thing to get us started off with, a little appetizer as we get going. If you're in the online, I don't even know where I would see this. I think IGN broke this news or something like that. Either way, just scrolling on the Facebook, scrolling on the Twitter world, found out that Mountain Dew dropping another hot sauce. Apparently, this is one of their second hot sauces. I did, unbeknownst to myself, Mountain Dew Baja Blast hot sauce.
Hmm.
We got some limited bottles on this one. I've seen varying numbers, but I guess this is the probably I would think the official number coming from the official site, Mountain Dew, 750 bottles. And you can go ahead. I mean, not trying to plug them or nothing. Go ahead, go onto their contest page. You got until February 9th to log in and everything. Uh, just, swarming around, looking around. Apparently, they dropped a Joel Embiid hot sauce bottle in 2020,
What the
and that's
hell?
reselling for about $200. Mountain Dew has valued this has valued this bottle around 50 so far, and in opening bids on eBay or roughly $100. So what are your thoughts on this? Are you gonna try and get in on this there, Mike guy?
I might just throw my name in their mix for that contest. Why
Yeah, I mean,
not?
what's the harm? The worst thing they can say is no. I mean,
They had
I
what did you say? A Shaq hot
it was
sauce?
it was Joel Embiid
Oh,
that came out.
I'm
Yeah, it came
Joel
out about I guess
Embiid.
2 3 years ago. Me being the big Mountain Dew guy, this flew under my radar. I had no idea that they even did that. So that was cool. I know they had a John Cena exclusive like wrestling figure that they dropped with that newer watermelon Mountain Dew that they had. That was weird. I forgot how you even had to get involved with that, but that was like last year. Mountain Dew coming in with some crazy contests and giveaways, but I'll back it up. I'll say this. If it was really really that good, wouldn't they want to bottle it wholesale, sell it to the masses instead of relying on this limited edition cloak that brings in all this attention and ignores core values. And with that being said, I made about 25 different emails, all for the sole purpose of winning this bottle of hot
Oh.
sauce. Thank you very much, Mountain Dew overlords. Thank you, our Lord and Savior, Mountain Dew. We love you and praise you and keep you. Uh, Mountain Dew is truly the best. I know you're a Sprite guy, but I mean,
Oh, I'm Sprite.
there's just nothing. There's nothing else to it. You guys, we got what Charlie Day and Russell Westbrook. You can have Drake and LeBron James, all those fucking losers. We're good with that. We got we got Mountain Dew over here. So
Uh,
yeah, we're good on that. Either
Sprite
way,
Cranberry.
yeah. Well, there goes the demonetization swore too quickly on this YouTube episode. That's my fault. Either way,
Hmm. That
it's
was
okay.
quick.
Yeah, there goes the money. Uh, Either way, we're doing all right. We're gonna chug along, get right into some fun stuff or fun. I don't want to say that exactly. I'm gonna get into on a quick update. Something that we broke there, or not broke exactly. Whatever. I'm contradicting myself left and right. Either way, the news that happened during our episode last week, it was very unfortunate. The passing of Jay Briscoe. Just it was an unfortunate accident. He was just update on everything we didn't know at the time. Obviously, recording while all the details were coming out. This unbelieving outpouring of love and just everything, well wishes and just video tributes and everything on Twitter and Facebook and everything like that. That's everything we wanted to see. And sure enough, like I said, it was heartbreaking to hear that it was just it was an accident that just couldn't. I don't know whether it was distracted driving on the other person's end. That woman that was driving her truck and struck the car, she also passed away. The Jay Briscoe had his two daughters in the car. They suffered some injuries. Fortunately enough, the update on that is they're okay. They're doing better. The one daughter had a procedure done on her back and does have feeling in her lower extremities, which is just that's good to hear. And it's everything. It's positive. It's very unfortunate, of course, that we say just passing of such a. I mean, just it was just nothing but positivity, love from everybody, and I mean, just you saw it from ranging on WWE with Kevin Owens rocking it. The Viking Raiders both had some patches on themselves as two on two. It even broke on NXT when the unfortunate news broke. So just it was good. It was very awesome to see just everything. Unfortunately, at the time, we only got to see one little vignette in the beginning of AEW, and
Yeah.
you know, I hope there wasn't really a rage or anything like that, but it was news had broke later on that it was really out of Tony Khan's hands. It's nothing more that they could have done at that time. The Warner Media, Discovery still didn't want the Briscoe brothers, Jay Briscoe, on their TV, on anything at all. They didn't want a tribute thing on there like they did. They went ahead, AEW at the time, like I said, they went ahead, put everything up, their tribute episode the tribute video package that they put up after the live event. They put it up on Honor Club completely for free. I know the Honor Club is a subscription
Yeah,
based, but
they filmed that whole tribute show for the
yeah,
Ring of Honor.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can go ahead and completely check that one out for free. That's again, that's what you want to see. That's what you want to honor him for. And just I mean, yeah, just it was at the time just really like you're thinking like, damn, it's very unfortunate. It's a bad move. It's just it was a perfect opportunity to counter cancel culture in the sense that like we can recognize that someone that said something has completely changed for the better. And again, at the time, being a week ago, everyone again, including myself, a little down and just a little more upset than I should have been. Angry at Warner Media for like I said, just not giving this guy his due diligence. But now this most updated thing is coming today. There will be a match. Mark Briscoe, the brother of Jay Briscoe, will go up against Jay Lethal, former Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion. Had a ton of matches with this guy. Probably rode around with him forever. So I can't really think of two other guys that would put on a better tribute match, tribute just showing, and overall just this is going to be a phenomenal matchup and just everything that you wanted to see probably last week in terms of just showing your flowers and everything. This is going to be all of that and more. So I cannot wait. I've been talking a lot about this. So I mean, what are you thinking on this? Anything on your mind on this, Jim?
Yeah, it was just very sad and shocking at the time and still is. It's I'm glad that they're finally allowed to do something with a tribute towards him because that was so fucked up to that was so messed up to me to just
No,
see
I mean
that.
it's okay, dude. I mean, it just yeah. I was just yanking my chain. Just go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was so fucked up that they weren't allowing them to do anything with that really. So I'm glad that, and I was still seeing stuff about them not allowing it today. And then, but then Tony Khan announced that match with Mark Briscoe and Jay Lethal. So it seems like they finally figured something out. And that'll be very emotional for
Yeah,
sure. It's
without
gonna
a
be
doubt.
just like the Brody Lee show. It's just sad.
Yeah,
I mean,
no.
it's just I'm glad that the daughters were okay, but it's just sad. Like
Yeah,
I
no.
don't have too many words, honestly. Still, I just hate stuff like this. I hate just stuff like this. It's
Yeah, very
so
upsetting. I
ugly.
mean, if it means anything, like I couldn't even listen to the Cornette episode of him just giving his tribute and his thoughts and prayers on the Briscoe brothers. Like I said, it just made me tear up in the middle of work. I had to turn it off. I continued to sob like a baby on the ride home. That's what I did instead. I like turned it on. I kept it to myself. But I mean, just hearing everything from they went ahead and shut down the schools when that happened. They shut down local
Wow.
businesses in Laurel County because that's just how much that not just like the wrestling, the fact that he meant a lot to the community, and just like I said, just a daily routine task of him just taking his daughters to cheerleading practice. Again, I don't want to speculate on anything, but just if it's along the lines of like just distracted driving, and I don't know, they were describing this rural road as like they were more or less there was probably just the two of them on the road at that particular time. It's just very unfortunate situation. So I don't want you don't want anyone to cast blame. You just want to sit there and again just if you see, I just caught this earlier today. If you the Philadelphia NBC Philadelphia put up their whole coverage on it, and the mother of Jay Briscoe is she's a warrior. I'll say that she kept it. She took it on the chin. And it's not like she's you know uh what would be the word, just like denying the emotion. Just she was saying that we can't uh I'm gonna completely butcher this, and I'm sorry. I'm just gonna try. Maybe I'll just link it in there so I can just don't completely botch it. She's just saying that we can't really focus on what we lost and just be grateful what we still have, being the daughters and everything like that. And that was just more or less her, I guess, her coping fact that just like she just didn't want to break down crying in front of the whole TV station, which I'm completely fine with. I mean, that's fine. That's yeah, just like I said, that family, that the Briscoe family, they're warriors in that video. If you come around it, or like I said, I'll link it in the description or something like that. Just like I said, hopefully you get a better understanding. Like I said, I don't want to botch it that bad. That was awesome. It was a great interview. Dalton Castle was in that little spot too. So just more guys. They did their part. They interviewed who they needed to. So that was awesome. And just final thing on that, just before we get into everything else, is Pro Wrestling Tees put up a memorial T-shirt. It looks awesome. It looks phenomenal. So go ahead, check that out. Jay Briscoe riding on top of it. He's got the little logo. He's got the saying on there. Just all and every 100% of the proceeds are going to the Pugh family. Hopefully, I'm pronouncing that correctly, but it's going to his family. I mean, this is just again similar to when the Shad Gaspard T-shirts came out, and I believe the New Jack T-shirts as well, something like that. All the proceeds went to the family after the unfortunate passing. So again, just glad to see the wrestling community coming together. It's all going to be for a good cause. Besides the T-shirts, I'm sure if you're a well-informed AEW fan, wrestling fan, you're probably following them on Whatnot or whatever. They were doing the pins. They're buying the pins. Again, all the proceeds for that going 100% to the family as well. So everyone's doing their part for just an unfortunate, sad event that just takes away just I mean, it hurts. It hurts a lot of people. It hurts wrestling fans, the families, just everyone. And it's just like I said, it's just very unfortunate. And just we're gonna have to just scrape it together and hold it down and just continue just really just remembering. And truly in my mind, no one really goes away until as long as you remember them, they're there forever. So I mean, them boys forever, them boys. There you go. RS in peace, Jay Briscoe. Hopefully that was like I said, a good little send off to that. Really, really saddening. It's really saddening, but gotta get through this and go through this. If you're good with that, bad transition into what was a fantastic and exciting NFL weekend. So, like I said, if you're good on that, we can go ahead and get into that.
Yeah, man, we love the Briscoes.
Yeah.
And what Mark Briscoe, I mean, he'll probably come out with both tag belts tomorrow
Yeah.
night. So
I'm sure something like that. I'm kind of prepared to just weep like a little kid at the end
yeah,
of
it's
that
just gonna
match.
be very sad.
They're gonna do something, probably put a pro. I don't want to speculate or nothing, but like put the boots in the middle of the ring, or just the two belts, or on it. New Japan. We're going to be talking about this a little later because of what the completely different story. But New Japan at the beginning of the Wrestle Kingdom pay-per-view, I believe it was Wrestle Kingdom 17. Had just a great memorial, bringing out two pictures of them, all the flowers and everything. So to start off the way that they did, Just again, hats off to them. That was a classy, solid move. I'm sure. Being ignorant right now, I don't have to know off the top of my head, but I'm sure they've won the IWGP Tag Team Champions in some sort of context on the line.
Yeah, I'm
Being a part of
sure.
Ring of Honor in the Indies their entire career, so it makes a ton of sense. Yeah, so just like I said, I think it's a good way. It's a solid way, and like I said, nothing, no one will truly ever go away as long as you remember them, as long as you do. So that's there we go, there we go. Yeah, yeah, I know. Like I said, bad transition. I'll try and figure out a way to do that and make it positive lighting. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get into some NFL. This was another solid week, another solid weekend of games, everything left and right. Checking back last week, overs went 5-0, and unders
Wow.
this week went 4-0. So a little bit of difference in games. I don't really know if that sets up a trend or anything. Just something interesting to note.
A little
And
flip flop there.
yeah, a little bit of a flip flop there. And also something I noticed that just throughout the week and everything, the teams that dominated on the ground, ultimately won their games. And like I said, maybe that was for some of the games that was ultimately the what did them in. But I don't know, for the first game that we're talking about, they were deadlocked even on yards on the ground. And I mean, this was just exciting from beginning to end, I suppose. So Jags Chiefs, this was fun. This was fun. We didn't really write off the Jags last week, I suppose, but
No.
they were coming into a buzz saw, and we kind of knew that. Mahomes got down, going down, helped them, but no one really saw Chad Henne getting off the bench, telling the kids, "Hold my beer," while I drive down the field for 98 yards and score ultimately what may have been the deciding touchdown. I mean, it ended 27-20. It was, I guess, the franchise record longest scoring drive in the Chiefs' history. I also didn't know that. A few bounces of the ball. A few bounces of the ball to the Jags side, though. Honestly, this could be a different ending game. I don't know. It's kind of can't really sit here and live in the NFL. It's definitely the NFL. Not I can't sit here in the big what ifs, but it's I don't there also is probably a multiverse, a multi-world where the Jags squeaked it out. I don't know. It's hard to say. Having 100% Patrick Mahomes that entire game could have been a way bigger outcome. That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
Can't really sit here, everything that went right for the Jags. There's still some other things. Like, I mean, they kept themselves in it, but they just really didn't finish drives. They didn't get into scoring range, and I mean, I don't know. When the ball flipped the other way, Travis Kelce just went down the field and did his thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
Kelce, Mahomes, Isaiah Pacheco even getting in there. I tweeted this out, and I don't know if you maybe share the same sort of light. If Isaiah Pacheco got the same amount of touches that a guy like Joe Mixon got, or maybe even Austin Eckler, I know they don't really need that. He doesn't need that many touches because there's so many other mouths to feed on this Kansas City offense. But,
Mhm.
if he's getting 12, 15 handoffs and maybe one pass reception, you bump that up to 17 and 20, or 17 to 20 touches on the ground, and maybe, I don't know, 2 or 3 just targets through the air. I think his yardage is way up there. You don't need to overload him like you would Jonathan Taylor or Derrick Henry. He's not going to get the ball 30, 35 times, but I don't know.
Mhm.
If you're getting him with this limited amount, he's getting 12 rushes and he's getting 90 yards. I don't know. He's a very special kid. You getting him in the 7th round like you did, that's pretty awesome. So I think
Yeah,
that
he
was
looks
really good.
very explosive. He looks very good. He's able to bounce out those he'll just like there's that one run he looked like he was trapped and he just bounced right
Yeah.
out
Yeah,
and he
and
was
bouncing out
so
for a
fast.
35-yard, his longest run of his career so far. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's stuff like that where it's explosive is the perfect word to describe him. And I know, like I said, we're getting in that off-season thing. I wouldn't be opposed if the Bears just completely overpaid and made a trade for him. I'm just being a little biased, but
Hmm.
I think he has a very bright future ahead of him. But I mean, just back to the game, the future. Just Kelce is just insane, breaking another tight end record, most receptions by a tight end in the postseason. And I guess Patrick Mahomes just really needs to sit there, prepare himself for the countless amount of times that he's going to hear. So how's that ankle, Pat? How you doing? How you feeling? Yeah, I don't know. I think that's going to get obviously annoying for him. The line is completely flipped so far. I know it
Yeah.
opened with the Chiefs as favorites, and now it's the Bengals are -1.5 as we're talking right now. So I don't know. It's maybe getting the preview or whatever, but that's going to limit his mobility. But even a pocket passing Patrick Mahomes is pretty dangerous. Sounds a little dangerous to me. Just another AFC championship in Kansas City, 5th in a row. I guess just a softball radio style type question is, are you and others getting sick of Kansas City being there all the time? I know it's not really the same feel as like the Patriots or whatever. I don't know, but I don't know. Are you in that little bubble of like, I'm sick of this asshole?
I don't know. I'm not sick of it necessarily because I feel like who else deserves it? I mean, he's the best. Mahomes has proven he's the best quarterback in the AFC. So
Witnessing greatness every Sunday
yeah,
that these not just, I mean, honestly, him between that entire team is just so much fun to watch. I mean, it's like
yeah,
the equivalent of watching the 2016 Golden State Warriors, or as much as I hate them, probably like those 2013 Miami Heat when they're just throwing up lobs all the time.
yeah. Like
This is
Mahomes is
exciting.
just doing the little like flick plays and
Flick
stuff, and
passes.
like
Travis
it's.
Kelsey's getting open, like you just said. Isaiah Pacheco's bouncing outside for 30
They don't even
yards.
have Tyreek Hill anymore, and they're
No,
still like they're
they were the
still
number one
fine.
offense without him. And it's
Yeah.
just, yeah. I mean, it's no slight on him. He still had a phenomenal season. He was one of he was the top 3 receivers off the top of my head in
Mm-hmm.
terms of yardage and everything. But it kind of might sting a little bit. You're like, oh, it's like that SpongeBob meme when Squidward's up in the top tower, and
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelsey and Juju Smith running around all frolicking in the front yard. Like that's kind of what's happening. I mean, they just got eliminated, Miami, so yeah, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I always want to see like the Bills, but they always lose. So it's, I mean, they literally can never make a playoff run. So
Yeah,
it's, they
they're
choke when
throwing.
it matters. They always choke when it matters most, just like the Chargers. So, I mean,
Yeah,
I'm familiar with that as a Packer fan, so I'm allowed to say that. But
yeah, the consensus might be that F word fraud has been thrown around the Bills. Well, like I said,
yeah, I
we'll
hate
get
to,
to
I don't
that.
want to, I don't,
We'll
I
get to
hate to
that.
call them frauds because I don't know, but
Yeah, no, we'll get to that for sure, for sure. Yeah, just like I said, just looking at this, it was a tough go for the Jags. They tried, like I said, a couple bounces on their side. I'm sure that they could have just squeaked it out, but yeah, I mean, it was a tough one. This was one of the best like coaching matchups we could have asked for. Andy Reid versus Doug Peterson.
hmm.
Doug Peterson did everything they could. They hung in there. I'm not thinking of any stats off the top of my head, but they were basically 1 for 1 in rushing on the ground. And you just, yeah, I guess just the big what if is, what if Patrick Mahomes stays in that game? Is it as close as it is, or does it get a little bit more lopsided towards the Chiefs' way? I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
mean, you always got to think that way when
Yeah,
someone with his caliber gets injured. So,
yeah, definitely,
but
definitely.
Doug Peterson, good teams win, but great teams cover.
Fuck
Doug
yes.
Peterson kicks the late field goal for no reason to cover. And so they end the season on a high note, at least.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That is a pretty good sense. Yeah, on the flip side, yeah, this the Chiefs, if you're not keeping score, they're one of the worst teams against the spread this year. I think they only covered
Wow.
6 times this year. So I mean, it's tough. They always get the -10,
Yeah, they're always
-11.
expecting them, yeah, to win by a
Yeah,
shitload
I
of
mean, yeah,
points.
it's a tough one. It's a tough one. I know they're playing. Sometimes they're playing tomato can teams. Like, I mean, they shouldn't have gone into overtime against the Texans by any means. But yeah, I've given them
There
the
were
14.
so many games like that this year.
Of course, yeah. And
The
then yeah,
Cowboys lost to the fucking Texans. I remember that. That
yeah.
fucked me over.
Oh, I'm sorry.
They've had a lot of bad beats this football season.
Yeah. No, I mean there was that. Just can't, just thinking about the rest of the future. Can't write off the Jags. Maybe even next year. I mean, this was a lot of the buzz and talk about was just like, damn, this playoff pool of quarterbacks. Like, this is really the future, and like just the focus on that of who was there and just how young everybody is now. Like, we have basically our main frame of quarterbacks basically for the next 5 to 10 seasons of football for a lot of these AFC teams. And I mean, if you're on the NFC side, it's a little lax right now. I mean, it was a down year. Aaron Rodgers, not to just shit on you guys, but Aaron Rodgers had a down year. Tom Brady had a down year. Dak Prescott led the league in interceptions. There you go. The only one that really put up a fight, I mean, still there, Jalen Hurts. He had a pretty solid season. I'll be a little biased. Justin Fields had his nice little fantasy days. Still hasn't produced that big passing game that we want to just yet, but it's a little on the downtrend, and there's a lot of little flip flopping of quarterbacks on each side. So it'll be fun. It'll be fun to maybe something to dive into when the free agency pops up. If you're good on the Chiefs and the Jags, we'll go ahead and flip on over to the nightcap on Saturday game, which was Giants in Philadelphia.
Yeah, not much to talk about there.
Yeah, no, not really. I can might keep this one brief. I was actually just at a bar. I'll just not to dox them or just to shit on them or give them a bad Yelp review in any sort of sense. I'm gonna put myself in their shoes just because I've been there before. I've worked at I've done bars and just worked like the front desk and just done the hosting and the serving and just, making sure TV that was the main thing when I was a host. You got to make sure I was, not just serving people, not just
Is
sitting
this like
people
a
down.
bad experience or something?
It's not awful, not terrible. It's just, the food was good. Server was great. Tipped her nice. We had a big party come in and I was like, I'm sure she'll mess up something. She was A1 perfect. So that's why, like I said, give her a nice little tip guy. But man, this guy, whoever was taking care of the audio, botched it so hard.
Oh no!
They're setting up a DJ. Sure, that's fine. You got really shitty music playing the entire time. Despacito is going on or whatever. And then I'm trying to watch the game. I'm like, I'm just like, bumping everybody. I'm like, wouldn't they, big game? Wouldn't they put it on the loudspeaker? Wouldn't it's a bar, it's a sports bar, kind of, do that. Didn't do that until the last 2 minutes of the second quarter. Then it went into halftime, and then it went into the local news. So I'm hearing the audio of the local news. Like, I don't want to hear about 3 dead in a park. Like, that's not what we want to do. And I was just upset with that. They go back to the music, and I was like, okay, sure, maybe hopefully they'll get back to the game at halftime. No, and the third quarter begins, back to Bad Bunny and all this shitty music playing over the headset. Not till the last 3 minutes of the game, when it's a complete blowout, do they finally put the audio of the game back on. And I'm just like, well, I don't know what to do here. It's just like, come on, man. It's very lit. It's the little things, man. It's the little things that kill you sometimes. And that's all I could focus on at that particular time. Just, if you're going to be a sports bar, if you're going to be a bar, play the sports.
Yeah.
On the audio. You had a lot of TVs going. But,
nobody said anything.
I mean, a couple of people at our table were like, yeah, this is weird. But like, no one, like, I guess wanted to make a big deal about it. It's fine. It's, like I said, that's just me being me. That was basically the most heightened part of this game. Like you kind of said, it was Giants weren't really there. I believe I gave out, we were kind of looking at all the money line odds. I was like, Giants are probably the juiciest odds, not most likely to win. I said the juiciest odds, and I'm glad I just didn't take that bet, and I would have for sure completely cashed out when I heard that news that they didn't have running water at their hotel because a diehard Eagles maintenance worker said oops and just probably whacked the water mainframe with a wrench and just decided, yeah, that's fine, like a cartoon bad guy. So that was cool. Like I said, hopefully you had any money on that, you immediately cashed out. That would have been the thing. But they just, the Giants got absolutely throttled. Hurts got his groove. He was in the game plan, and the game plan was just run, 268 yards in the ground. They had scores from all over the place. Including Boston Scott. Thriving against the Giants. He has 19 career touchdowns. 11 of them are against the Giants. Absolutely bonkers.
Wow.
Just ridiculous. It's just that they're just trolling the Giants at this point. It's an absolute troll. Like they probably pull, just like Miles Sanders and Kenneth Gainwell. They're just laughing to themselves. Like, hey, they put Boston in there again. Oh, they put Boston in there. Yeah, Boston in there, man. He's gonna go score.
Touchdown, Boston.
Yeah, dude. I mean, the Eagles did their thing. They got out to an early offensive lead, just strangled them on the defensive side, and just kind of put it on cruise control in the second half. There's nothing really else that they did. It wasn't criminally bad by any means. But they probably should just put on the running clock when, like in high school blowout games. It's kind of just the sense that we got from this. I guess
they got destroyed.
Yeah, a lot of questions for the Giants' future, more or less. Just what do you do with Saquon? What are you going to do with Daniel Jones now? I saw that press conference of them like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Are you going to sign him? They're like, we're going to sit down with his representative. We're going to offer an offer. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. He's like, oh, okay. So you're going to like make sure he's the quarterback next year. He's like, we're going to sit down with his representative. We're going to do this. We're gonna do I'm like, okay, that's not a yes or a no, dude. So they're a little shaken up by this, but I don't know. This might have been like I kind of just alluded to with just a rough end for the NFC in terms of Tampa Bay fell up the stairs, won their division, and just got into the playoffs. The Packers just got squeaked out. The Rams had a really shitty year. This was just a down year for the NFC, and I don't see an opportunity for the Giants to fall back in and get there again. If the Eagles are going to be this dominant, as well as maybe the Cowboys in the same sort of sense, yeah, I mean they're going to have some question marks too. But
yeah,
I don't see the Giants going 9-7 and making a playoff run again. It just doesn't. That I don't, at least for next year. I don't see that's going to be. If I'm going to be optimistic and say the NFC is going to get better, I just don't see the Giants are just going to need to get better. Daniel Jones is just going to need to not turn the ball over. Everyone keeps saying, oh, Saquon, you got an aging Saquon, because I keep seeing that because Bears rumors and Bears pages on Facebook are like, yeah, would you guys like that we might sign Saquon? Would you not want him? And everyone's like, he's older, he's injury prone. He's injury prone. He's only 25, dude. Like you're not a senior citizen when you're 24, 25 in the NFL. So I know, again, he's got some mileage. He's been there before when he's definitely the bell cow of that offense when he's in there nice and healthy, but I'm not going to overpay for him necessarily. Like I just said, you can maybe find a guy like Isaiah Pacheco, who's young, hungry, explosive, and you can get him for the cheap, but I'm not going to be completely opposed to getting a guy like that. Everyone's like, why would we do that when we have Monty? They're not the same guy.
I don't know if Montgomery's staying.
I'm sorry. Montgomery said thinks he's staying.
I said I don't think he's staying.
Yeah, I don't think he's staying either. I don't think that's going to be a re-sign anyway. I mean, we got Khalil Herbert waiting in the wings. And I think we also may end up drafting somebody too. So I don't know.
Yeah, he just posted all that stuff of like him standing in the middle of the field and stuff, and like he's like saying goodbye to players and shit I was hearing. So
yeah, definitely like you said, on feeling like he's on his way out, saying peace out. And like I said, not feeling like a negative Nancy or anything just like that, but just just taking it all in. And I think he's feeling like he might be it, but I don't know. I don't have any ill will towards David. Towards Montgomery. He just didn't get it done. I don't know. That's tough. It's a tough one. People might jump down my throat for that one, but I don't know. He's nothing special. He's not an X factor in Madden, I guess, if that's what I kind of want to allude to. He's replaceable. And again, that's maybe a little harsh too, but
by Saquon.
Yeah, when a name like that pops up, you definitely.
Bears are gonna have so much money, so it's gonna be
so much money.
It's gonna be fun for you.
Cha-ching!
I'm gonna be sad every time I see a notification. Like, great. Sign another great player.
It's nice when we end up spending or whatever. It's just a matter of how and who we spend it on. So I mean, I click on ESPN radio a lot, and sometimes just depending on whatever they're just trying to fill time, like, all right, who are we looking to sign this year? It's just a lot of under the radar, like offensive line names, a lot of glue guy names that are like, they don't excel anywhere necessarily. They're not like what's the like? They're not like Bakhtiari. They're not a name like that. They're not like a Trent Williams on San Francisco. But if you get good enough guys, again, thinking along the lines of Madden, if you get a bunch of like 84, 85 overall guys, you slip them in there, they're just good enough to like make make enough good decisions stuff. We can just put together a nice, solid offensive line that just does their job. I mean, it's just stuff like that. I mean, what's stopping anybody from finding a guy like Matt Milano who he doesn't excel in anything really, but he just does his job every single snap, and that's why he's there making tackles. And I mean, he had a pretty good week last week against the Ravens, an okay week against the Bengals this week, and I think it's a nice little transition into this. Just I guess, yeah, the Bills defense just really didn't show up. It was a snowy, sleet-like day. I don't even know. Just like a light snow, like a rainy snow type day. Didn't stick or nothing, but they were slipping. The pass rush wasn't really there. Bengals got out to a big lead. Just I don't know. Maybe I guess I'll just start from the beginning. My notes. Just wow. Just don't disrespect the Bengals in any sort of sense. I guess from the line being +6. From them being
Yeah,
slighted.
they were plus 205. I took the Bengals plus 205 because they were disrespected by the media and by Ticketmaster selling tickets for the Chiefs and Bills AFC
it's
championship.
Usual protocol, but that's
it's
definitely a chip on your shoulder when you're kind of already
there was
marking
just
your way
a
in there.
shitload of tickets that were sold and like
those
that
refunds.
and Joe Mixon was tweeting about it like that's disrespectful. I was like, I have to bet on them. Like they're like because they're not a bad team. I was saying to one of my buddies, one of our other buddies, it's just like, yeah, they're not a team that's just like sneeze at or something. They're
not.
very
You're not
good.
gonna lay down against the Bengals. They're not gonna let you just do whatever. They're coming in. They're gonna smack you up. They were locked in from immediate opening kickoff. They took a 14-point lead, flipped the Bills game script on their head. They didn't really know what to do. Led wire to wire, dominated on the ground. Mixon had 105 yards on the ground. Overall, the team averaged 5.1 yards per attempt. For when the opening thing was all Alex Kappa and the other offensive linemen out for this week. What are we going to do? They're going to get blown up from this. And sure enough, they just said, fuck you. We're going to go ahead and just run this ball down your throat. I mean, they went ahead. I think they had 250 yards passing through the air. Joe Burrow had a nice game, but I don't know. I guess I was kind of throwing that around there earlier. I don't know if you can throw that fraud label on the Bills just because I think the Bengals were just better. Like the Bengals were just set up and poised to be better. I know it's a tough look when the Bills were odds-on favorite in the beginning of the year to win the whole thing. Josh Allen preseason favorite for MVP. Just everything that was right there. Even best home field playoff record at the time, 13-1 for the Bills. Now 13-2 after that loss to the Bengals. So everything was kind of going right for the Bills. Bengals kind of had to look up like, oh fuck, well another year of doing this, aren't we? Well, gotta smite them down, and sure enough, they were able to take it to them. Just let me try. I'm trying to quickly look through it. People maybe the fraud label is just like people that had future tickets, on the Bills to win everything right away. So I don't know. I think that's best reserved for teams like the Vikings or arguably the Cowboys or the Buccaneers.
Yeah.
Depending on who you are and how you take it. But you can't take the game away from the Bengals in any sort of way. They came in, took care of business, outperformed the Bills in every situation. They deserve to be there. Any fear or any doubt, like I said earlier, that offensive line that's all out the window. The big winner, I think here, they may not know it, but the NFL is the big winner here. A game gets canceled, that game being the Bengals and Bills from earlier from the Damar Hamlin situation. Very unfortunate, but it gets canceled. But nothing really comes from it. The Chiefs went ahead, took care of the number 1 seed. They won outright, and there's no controversy there. Bengals beat the Ravens and win their division outright. No controversy there. So that doesn't come down to a coin toss. And the Bengals doubled down, beat the Bills, so there doesn't have to be an AFC championship on a neutral site. So just the NFL writers are just like, phew, we don't have to answer for that one no more. I know all the NFL memes they're like, oh, all the NFL writers are mad because they don't get Chiefs and Bills again. No, I think it's complete flip. I think they're completely relieved because they don't have to deal with
Yeah,
the
this
big
game's
what
gonna
ifs.
be awesome.
Yeah, not only exactly. This is going to be a great rematch from
Rematch from
last
last
year.
year, yeah.
Earlier this year, I know the Chiefs, or I know the Bengals got their
Bengals
Chiefs number again.
are like 4-0 against the Chiefs, something like that, 3 and
Yeah,
0.
yeah, something like that.
Chiefs have never beaten the Bengals, just
Oh,
so everyone
how
knows.
long? Yeah, with Burrow around,
Yeah,
right? Is
with
that
Burrow,
okay? That's yeah,
Yeah, let me be more specific with that.
yeah. Did you have any thoughts, comments on what Stephon Diggs' little, I guess not antics, or just his composure, or just how he was talking to Josh Allen? What'd you think on that?
He's pissed.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the playoffs. I mean, I have like no bad things to say about it. He's
Oh
not
no, I
getting
wasn't trying
looked
to say
at.
it like
No, yeah, I'm
that.
just saying he's just getting not looked at when it matters. If it happens consistently, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I had him throughout fantasy. There was a couple games where Stephon Diggs, for I guess for lack of a term, he's just passionate about the game. I mean, he truly is. He's not, and for just from getting word of how other people are, other analysts and people that are there and just know these guys, they feel as though that Stephon Diggs and Josh, I keep wanting to say Jonathan Allen for some reason. Josh Allen is they have a good enough relationship that they can be open about this, and a lot of interpretation of what exactly was said by Stephon Diggs. But I wouldn't say it's a tough look. To me, it's a little justified. I mean, Stephon Diggs is their best player on the offense besides Josh Allen. I mean, it's just proven, and it's tough when he's out there and it's looking like throw me the ball, or what are we doing? What are you doing? It's just hopefully it's just like what are we doing here? Like we got to get going. Like put it like he was in that one scene where uh he catches a ball next to his ankles basically, and he's just like get it up, like get it up. Like I can't do anything when the ball's 2 feet off the ground. Like I can still make the reception, but I can't go score. Like I'm on the ground. Like it's just little stuff
Mhm.
like that. I can see it from that end. Again, it's tough when the report was that he just got out, stormed out, grabbed all his stuff and left before the coaches were even back in the locker room. But
Yeah.
I'm kind of okay with it, with his tweet, just as like you want me to be okay with losing. You know what? No, like no, I don't want you to be okay with losing. That's yeah, I see that's fine. A little bit of professionality is just staying there, taking your licks. But I'm just, he did what everybody else wanted to do. It's just like I got a tough loss, and just I don't want to be here. Fuck all y'all, I'm out. So I mean, again,
Yeah.
it's yeah, it's however you want to interpret it. I'm okay with how he took it. He didn't motherfuck anybody. He didn't say it's anybody's fault. He was disappointed, and for good reason.
Yeah.
When you're the number one in just about everything, like we said, you're for preseason, you're thought of as going to be the dead on winner, and you don't do it. Uh, I think it's justified. So I mean, yeah, I didn't. Yeah, that's weird. It's I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he left Minnesota looking for a ring and he still hasn't found one.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I mean, my thing was just more or less just it's not really not that. It's just like there's so many opportunities. Like you could have done something at the deadline. You guys sat on your hands, but you guys got Naeem Hines. Like that's clearly not the answer when you were running James Cook and you still had Devin
yeah, they
Singletary.
did nothing with Hines anyway.
Yeah, I mean, congratulations. He returned 2 touchdowns in the regular season, but I mean, I mean, that's not going to do anything for you. Obviously, like you said, he's just going to sit on the couch for the rest of the season. So there's just so many when again, it's tough to say like, oh, they can go out there and get a guy like Christian McCaffrey, like San Fran did. There's only one Christian McCaffrey, obviously, so
Yeah.
they couldn't have done that. But they could have done something. They could have done just brought a prominent name to there. They can actually move the ball that isn't James Cook or Devin Singletary. I mean, it's I don't know. It's a tough one. It's very tough. And like I said, with this trend of all these teams that won were basically leading or just dominating on the ground, There was no run game at all for the Bills this year, and for the games that they lost, that probably could have helped them a lot. So this was tough. And again, it's weird when you go down 14 points, so you're not in your normal game script. Kind of kept it close a little bit. It was for what, 14-7, 17-7, 17-10, and then after that it was just didn't show up. So yeah, another wasted year for the Bills and everyone in that organization. Yeah, just a tough one. That's the word of the day for that one. I feel like I just keep saying that. So if we get on that game, we can move on to the last one. We got Dallas and San Fran here.
There's one more thing that I
Sure.
have to bring up just because.
Yeah, sure.
Was that Damar Hamlin in the box?
I love
Everybody has
this
been saying there's
conspiracy.
no pictures or videos
And
of his
they
face.
even went inside the suite, and some people are saying that it's still not him. They didn't get a good enough image of his face. I
Yeah, I'm not a
love
big
this.
conspiracy guy, but it is just really, it's just weird. It's weird to me. Like, why wouldn't you put your mask down?
so so
I guess maybe been, I mean, he's been through a lot and he has the tubes down his
yeah.
throat and stuff. So I guess he's probably just hiding his face or something. That's probably what it is. But I just
Yeah.
saw so many people posting about that. I was like, is this right? I was like, what is this?
I was thinking of that. I've heard of that idea, and just the idea that just do you really want to be known? It's gonna sound weird, and I hope I don't sound wrong, but do you really want to be known as like the heart attack guy? Like that's what you want to put your face on? Like I'll try and rephrase that. Maybe he just didn't want to put his face out there and like make it all about him. Like
Yeah, that's what, yeah.
his team was still out there trying to perform and get to the AFC Championship. And he just I would, if I was in any sort of situation, even when it like, I mean, I don't even like talking about, I got my birthday coming up and stuff like that. I don't even want to like, I don't like the focus ever being on me. So if it's like if it's a thing like that, I can see why he didn't want to have his face. And like you just said, having a procedure done, having the tubes, I'm sure there's either some sort of mark or just
Yeah.
yeah. I've never obviously
Yeah,
not
again,
being there,
I
but
don't know too much about that stuff. That's just me assuming.
yeah,
But
exactly. So I know it's just I'm I love the internet and all that, and that I just won't take that seriously. That's just something I'm like, that's a good laugh, that's a good hearty laugh. Don't get yourself wrapped into that. Don't get
yeah.
offended by that. Just
Like
let
there's
that one
people that
be.
legitimately think like he's dead and that's
Hey,
like a fake, like
that's
I
QAnon
was like,
people.
okay.
Those are QAnon people that think the vaccine's gonna turn you into a dog or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Those are those type people.
Like it's like they're showing comparisons of like clothing, like does these clothes fit hit? Like I'm like, what, dude? Like
Bro,
people get
yeah.
way too much. Like it's not. I'm sure he's
It's not
fine.
that deep, bro. It's not that
Yeah.
deep. It was probably for sure him. But either way, yeah, I like that. I like that. Just I guess that's just what the brain can do when there's not a blowout necessarily, but wasn't as competitive as it should have been. So that was
Hmm.
fun. People let the internet run wild. Let it be its thing. It's gonna naturally do its part. Again, it
Yeah,
didn't
I mean
hurt. Does it
NFL
hurt him?
memes was no.
Yeah. Does it hurt him? No, no, no. Of
NFL
course.
memes was posting memes right after the game, like the Bills lost by 3 possessions for Damar Hamlin
There
and
you
stuff.
go.
Like it's
Oh shit.
people
Oh
just can
fuck.
make a joke about anything
Of course, with
nowadays.
as long as some time passes, everything gets figured out a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like you said, we got the fortune, very fortunate he does recover, and the just on the opposite flip side, a career, not a career, but season dies in the Dak Prescott led Cowboys
Hmm.
and the Dallas Cowboys and San Fran. Maybe the writing was on the wall when Robbie Gold was out there doing pregame warmups, just doinking it intentionally off the crossbar, off the field goal post, on the side. He was on the side of the post
Yeah, I saw
hitting it,
that.
so that was awesome. Just doing a little trolling. We're just doing a little trolling out here. Uh, sure that
Cowboys suck. Dak Prescott is a fraud, and Ezekiel Elliott sucks.
There we go.
They're both overpaid and trash.
Can you tell what who Mike bet on? I'm just wondering. Yeah, just getting into it. Like I said, sure, the Maher extra point attempt was blocked at the beginning, but I think it was only blocked because it went so far left. That was basically a lot of things
Yeah,
going
that
on.
wasn't going in
Yeah,
anyway.
no,
That
just
blocked one.
yeah, it was continue to be displayed of
The ball
why.
was like sideways.
Yeah.
Like it was like not like it looked so
It
bad.
looks, yeah, it was not good at all. He just clearly had the yips. It was not a good look and showing by him, but yeah, he can yeah, it's the extra points that were given the problems. Field
Yeah.
goals, no problem. He can bank
And
those, no issue.
and seriously, Dak Prescott, 2 interceptions in a
Yeah.
game that you could have easily won. It's time to start. He's not as good as Jerry Jones thinks he is.
Yeah.
And
I
there's serious debate of does Cooper Rush win the game if he's starting?
oof. I don't know
Honestly.
about that. I don't know about that because I think his one true test was against the Eagles defense, and he got absolutely exposed with his pants down against them. So
That's true.
I don't to
And the
sit there
one
and say
thing with
Cooper
Dak
Rush
is
would,
he
yeah,
has the mobile
yes,
aspect to him and he's
yes,
able to escape more. But it's
100%
just the 2 interceptions he threw were
brutal.
horrible.
Yes, just
Yeah.
blatantly right to him, and then he almost could have had a third one on the one of the last drives of the game where I think it was Drake Greenlaw, just had it right in his paws and just dropped it, and it would have been a clear pick six, and like that would have been just for sure would have been the seal of the game. But yeah, just two
I like
brutal
Kyle
interceptions.
Brandt calling Ezekiel Elliott like he says that he's just basically Mike Davis now or Mike Tolbert. He was saying he was like he's okay with getting 2 yards every run and I was like it's just so
Yeah,
bad.
yeah, no,
Like
I
once
mean
Tony
it's
Pollard went out, they were cooked.
yeah, no one stepped up and wanted and did like Tony Pollard like things. I mean, Zeke came in there, got the ball when he did, but like you kind of just said, only ran the ball for like 3 or 4 yards, and that was it. Like that was the extent of the offense for the rest of the kind.
Yeah, and
Even when they had that big 40-yard bomb to CeeDee Lamb, the end result was a punt because San Fran's defense is just so suffocating. I mean, there's just nothing that they were able to do. They silenced them on everything. They couldn't run, they couldn't hide, they couldn't pass, they couldn't
yeah.
jump. Everything that they did, San Fran was there to just stranglehold, just suffocate them, just hold them down.
I will
And
say
yeah,
props to them for keeping it close.
yeah,
Like Mike
absolutely.
McCarthy, I feel like actually had a good coached game, but Dak Prescott just like the defense played very well,
Yeah.
but the Dak Prescott they lost because of him.
Yeah, I
Uh,
think so. It came down to a couple plays. I think that Kittle bobble pass to himself that changed a lot of momentum.
Yeah,
There was like a dropped potential interception for the Cowboys on that same drive, and later that I believe that led to a score, or at least them taking the lead in some sort of capacity for the San Francisco 49ers. It's kind of I can't you guess was just yeah, it was already in the middle of it. Really, just I don't. I'm kind of in a tough rut because he led the league in interceptions, didn't play all the games, but I'm kind of like can see both sides of the coin where he hasn't really had a good coach ever. I mean, he's had Mike McCarthy and what's the other guy? I mean, he's an analyst on the NBA. He's the analyst on
Jason Garrett or something
yeah.
like
So
that.
he's just had
Yeah,
two yes men sitting there for Jerry Jones. And like I said, I'm not, I can't sit here and say Dak Prescott is a world eater. He's not equivalent or anything like, in terms of these like QB rankings, I would probably rank him towards the bottom half of who was left. Arguably between Purdy and him, he would have probably been down there for
I mean
sure.
Mr. Irrelevant played better than
Yeah,
him,
he just
so
didn't screw up. He just didn't cause turnovers. And that Purdy was able to get the ball to Kittle. He was able to get the ball to McCaffrey a couple of times. I think he only had 35 yards rushing, but a score on the ground. And then just like I said last week, just the second guys, the Eli Mitchells and the Ray McLeods. I think he actually screwed up and dropped one of the kick
yeah, he
or one of
dropped
the punt
the
returns.
punt.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
dropped the punt return, but
Then he had a big return the next.
there you
He
go.
had like
So
a
just
big.
stuff like
Got to
that.
like the
Just
50.
Your secondary guys coming in. Brandon Ayuk still doing okay. Yeah, like I said, I think off the top of my head, Kittle had the big day, like 5 for 95 and a score, if I'm not mistaken. So no, he didn't. Excuse me, no, he didn't score a touchdown. It was a very low scoring game. Just Brock Purdy just did everything right, and I'm kind of thinking like, when is he going to have his rookie moment? That might have been it right there. I mean, he struggled against a really good defense. The only thing, like I said, the only thing he excelled in was just not giving up the ball, and that just you're good enough. If you're doing that, you're going to do good enough for the San Francisco for the defense to just take care of the rest of the game for you. So, sure enough, that's kind of what did it in. There's a lot of questions for Dallas after this. Like I said, just what you do with Mike McCarthy, probably going to get fired. Unfortunate situation with Tony Pollard. He's going to be gone. I think this said at least a 3-month timetable recovery. So maybe be a little hesitant on him, but I don't even think I think he's going to be a free agent. Leighton Vander Esch also going to be on the free agency side. A couple names for them going to be unrestricted free agents. So I don't know. They're going to have to figure something out. I don't know. Tough look for the Cowboys. I don't even know what I mean. It might not be so important, and it might not be like the big highlight or whatever. But this might be like a turning point for them too. So they might need to be. This might be a very important draft pick for them. If they can't screw up in this first round, they can't just pick like a throwaway middle linebacker or something like that. They need to get someone that they could probably establish and get going for a couple of years, because if they're going to roll with Prescott, then sure, he's going to have the quarterback lockdown. I think they still got Zeke. Their line's probably, okay. They could probably work on that, but their wide receiver core is basically set up. They probably have to get a second guy like that to help out CeeDee Lamb. But I don't know. I'm not really too sure what their draft board looks like, but I think just thinking about it now, they can't mess this one up. They cannot mess this draft up. So, any final thoughts on this game? Any final thoughts on just the Cowboys and anything else?
Not really. It seems like you got everything really.
For sure.
I can think of.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we can kind of just, if you want to, we can do a light preview on the other games that are coming up. The AFC NFC Championship. Before we do move on, I was just wondering, did anyone pull their dick out or get into a verbal confrontation on a flight while we were gone? I know that happened last week with Odell and what's his nuts, fucking Antonio Brown. So,
oh god,
no? Yeah, I think we're not clear. I think actually no. I think that the Olympic runner for some broad just got kicked off of a plane as well just today. So that just went viral. That the one, I can't think of her name. She had the Doritos earring, but she's the one that got caught with weed right before the Olympics, and she got kicked off the team. So yeah, she got kicked off a flight just for being an ass, I suppose. I don't know. I kind of got a quick glimpse of it. She thought she was the victim, but everyone was like, "No, you're the one being an asshole." So I don't know. Maybe just one of those. More people getting kicked off planes. More athletes are just a little, maybe too entitled, getting kicked off of planes, thinking they're a little higher and mighty than thou. Yeah. Maybe just a quick light preview on the game. So we got some more stuff to get into. I'm thinking about it. Like I said, Chiefs and Bengals. The Bengals line flipped from +1.5 to -1.5. So hopefully you can get on that. I can kind of see, this is kind of weird for me. The Bengals usually go in with a chip on their shoulder, ready to go, ready to screw somebody up just because of that, just because they feel like they're going to get screwed out of something. But now they're the favorites. Now they got everything going for them. They got Patrick Mahomes possibly coming in, gimping around, or might not even play at all. He's probably going to play. And then you got Eli Apple just chirping online, constantly chirping, just no matter what. He had that video of him swinging Josh Allen around, going round and round, just constantly replying to everybody. And then I love everyone's like, "Oh, hey man, check out my Eli Apple highlights," and it's just him getting torched by Cooper Kupp and Devontae Adams and everybody else.
Yeah, I saw something. It was like Eli Apple's the Patrick Beverly of the NFL. I
Yes,
was like,
exact. That was
yeah.
the perfect comparison. Yes, exactly. Yeah, I mean, they gotta. That might be the thing. That's like, okay, it's a mixture of little distractions, nothing to keep them locked in. And if you're gonna give me plus money with the league MVP, I might just take that out of principle just because of that. I'm not gonna have any like a heart or love in the game because my future relies on San Fran winning the whole thing. But I I mean, why not? Why not? Give me Kansas City plus money at home.
And yeah, I saw that out of all like 11 playoff games with Mahomes or something, like this is the only time that he's been a home underdog in the playoffs or something.
Yeah, like
So I
this
mean, like
is
that's ridiculous. And it said then that he's 7-1 against the spread when he is an underdog. So I was like, wow.
I that's yeah, I'm gonna have to take out a loan on this game. Yeah, I think that's definitely that. I mean, I'm just like you kind of said earlier. This is gonna be exciting rematch. Everything's poised for just. I mean, I'm just glad it's not on a neutral site. I think that's what more or less what keeps it cool. I mean, you're gonna get the. Like I said, I don't have really any ill will towards any of these teams or have like oh you need this team to win or any sort of sense like that. So probably just gonna be waiting until the lines settle or something like that. Maybe get in something like that. Ultimately, just as a fan, can't wait. That game's gonna be awesome. And the NFC side, Eagles and San Fran. I can't really make heads or tails of this game, other than might. This might be one of those things where I think it's going to be under just because these are just two phenomenal defenses, and then it'll probably be a snowy, slippery, sloppery game come game time, and then the over will just cash. So I don't know. Again, I might just have to wait till game time. I'm leaning a little bit towards San Fran, a little bit, but I mean, it's not like
Wow.
all four of these teams deserve to be here. There's not one team left that's like, wow, you guys are the frauds. You guys are the
Yeah.
like when Sesame Street would play, it's like one of these things is not like
Yeah,
the
I was gonna
other.
say there's always those
No,
memes that
yeah,
like there's an
exactly.
imposter among
Yeah,
us or
exactly.
stuff
No,
like that,
all
but
these
it's like,
people,
yeah.
all these quarterbacks, all these teams, defenses, everyone deserves to be here. They've it's as true as that. I mean, yeah, it's just it's crazy. It's crazy to think that and then yeah, just being the number one and number two seeds for the NFC side can't make heads or tails of it. Both solid defenses. I guess when it's really going to come down to the nuts and bolts of it is going to be like who do you believe is the better quarterback, and everyone and their mother is going to take Jalen Hurts, and I think that's for good reason. I mean, he's proven it. He was for the majority of the season like the front runner for MVP up until he got hurt,
Yeah.
and I mean, he's just done everything right. He's that offense is explosive. They think they have the most uh what was it the most explosive plays or longest scoring touchdowns or something like that. It was something weird. Just their offense is really good and their explosive plays, however they determine that. I think it just plays over 20 yards or more. Uh they're just they exceed in that. So something to pay attention to. Again, I got the link for Bet Rivers. Go ahead and do that. No sub bets. bit.ly/ no sub bets. Go ahead and sign up for that. If you got a better play than me, go ahead and set it up. You'll get your first bet back up to $500. But if you don't, like I said, you get that little bit of back pay just in case. Let me see. That was basically it. I mean, unless you had some comment on previewing NFC AFC.
Um, no, honestly, I think those will be two great games.
Yeah.
It would be cool to see the Eagles and the Chiefs just because the Kelsey brothers is going at it, but it
Yeah.
will be it will be I mean, whatever happens, whoever wins, it will be two great games. It's going to be a great Super Bowl,
Yeah.
so it's going to be exciting. This Eagles and San Fran game should be cool because I saw that the last time they played was in college, and they was like both scored 11 combined touchdowns, which
For
is
sure.
college. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, like Jalen Hurts threw like 4 touchdowns, and Purdy threw like 5 when he was on Ohio State, and it was I was like,
Nice.
it's just cool. It's
So they've come into contact with each other before, so that's pretty cool to see.
yeah,
They know of each other. That's pretty awesome.
yeah. I was like,
I was
that's
also
really
thinking,
cool.
and people were throwing around like, oh, warm team in San Fran going over the cold Philadelphia. I'm just, San Fran plays like a cold weather team. They get a little bit of yards through the air, but everything else is just they had 5 different rushers last week for X amount of yards. But Eli Mitchell, Christian McCaffrey, they can run with Debo. They can even run with Ayuk if they wanted to, or something like that. Just stuff like
Yeah,
that.
that cold isn't going to affect them.
I
They
don't.
come
Yeah.
into Lambeau every year and whoop our ass. So
Yeah, that's a pretty good point.
I don't think the cold affects them too
Not at
much.
all. If Robbie Gould's on point, then it's all good. Yeah, from there. So that ought to be good. Both games looking shaping up to be awesome. Can't wait for that. Yeah, if you're good on that, we can plow through some MLB, just quick news and notes. And I had a quick NBA story, and then we got some wrestling to cap us off. So how's that sound?
Yeah.
All right, like second hour of the show, second hour. We'll go ahead, just breeze through this MLB news and notes. Like I said, just more or less, basically just staying in the MLB, the AL Central today. Had some Cubs talk last time, but we're gonna focus on the South Side and then everybody else in the division this week. Roldis Chapman signed with Kansas City for a year. In my mind, he's a little washed. Probably won't finish the
Yeah.
year. But I just have a feeling in my balls that he's going to come down against the Sox in some sort of important situation and just steamroll us for an inning. So whether it's whether it's really early in the year and he's just establishing like good mojo and you want to get a good start off to the year and he's just going to fuck us up and like the home opener, or whether it's down the line and we're trying to actually we're like, oh man, we can maybe make a playoff run. And then here that comes the Kansas City Royals. We're going to probably have oh man, maybe we can sweep and get a good run going. And we just probably end up getting swept by the Royals or something like that. I just have a feeling it's going to be bad. It's going to be really bad. But, I again, roll this Chapman to the Kansas City Royals.
He won't show up.
He won't show up. I hope so. Yeah, I hope so.
Isn't that what he did to the Yankees last
There was,
year?
yeah,
He didn't
essentially,
show
yes.
up?
Yeah, he wasn't on the playoff roster. He ended up just going down to Miami. He was missing in action. He was MIA and MIA in Miami. So that was basically what it was for him. Yeah, I don't know. It's between that. He's a woman beater. I don't know what Kansas City really sees in this guy, other than the fact that he can still. I was like, oh, but I guess it's justified because he can throw 102 miles an hour. So whoopee.
That's all that really matters, right?
Yeah, I
I'm
guess
sure some
so.
team will sign Trevor Bauer.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, between Trevor Bauer, that guy, I don't even know. Everyone you can harp on him for his sexual misconduct or whatever it was. I think he's just an airhead. He's just not focused on the game. I think he wants to be a YouTuber. I'll stick with that. I'll stick with that take till the cows come home. You can be into whatever you want, chains, whips, fucking torches, and whatever you want in the bedroom. I just don't think if you're not there mentally on the baseball diamond, I don't want you on my team. That's just
Yeah, I've seen those YouTube videos of him like striking out like college players and stuff. It's like, can college players hit my fastball? It's like, what the fuck are you doing, man?
Why do I care? Why do I care? I'm on YouTube watching rug cleanups or deep cleaning of rugs and pimple extractions. Why am I worried about these college kids can swing a bat? I'm sorry, that's just my YouTube feed.
Can they hit my changeup?
I don't care. I'm watching Major League Wiffle Ball do over your
Yeah, I would rather
ass.
watch that than Trevor Bauer.
Yeah. Bauer's about as
you should see Jimmy Norp's. Should see Jimmy Norp's changeup.
Yes. Get Norped.
Trevor Bauer.
Get Norped. He would get Norped. He would have no chance in that.
Yeah, I want to see Trevor Bauer hit off of Jimmy Norp. And if he gets a hit, then he gets back into the MLB.
Yes.
And if he's not, then he's gone forever.
In the Major League Wiffle Ball until they
win. He has to stay in the MLB
until his team wins a Major League Wiffle Ball World Series. Pitchers can't hit, man. So that ought to be entertaining.
Oh my god!
Staying on the trend of that, yeah, we got maybe some good news again for the the White Sox sitting on their hands like they usually are. Their one free agency signing. We'll get to that at the end, but essentially they haven't done anything all off season now. But this trade by the Twins to the Marlins may have been one of the better things that has happened all off season so far. Twins trade Luis Arias, former batting title from last year. Trade him to the Marlins for Pablo Lopez. Pablo Lopez is a pretty good pitcher and
Good
all,
pitcher.
but
I
getting
didn't see that.
yeah, getting Luis Arias off the squad, off the Twins, is such a huge thing for the Sox. He was an absolute White Sox killer in more or less 60 games against the White Sox. He has 69 hits against us. So I mean, like I said, if you're going basically a hit per game, that doesn't happen very often.
No,
Again,
it's like what you do in the show,
oh
like
for
in the
sure.
video game.
100%. Yeah, exactly. Like that's just more. I didn't even account for how many home runs, RBIs, and everything. Again, just 69 hits alone. That should tell
That's
you
nice.
in 3 years. Yeah, nice. In about 3 or 4 years against us, that's what he's been able to do. So again,
And
thank
that's a
you.
player that the Marlins need.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you, Twins, for dishing out. I mean, like I said, Pablo Lopez isn't the worst. He's good, not
He
great.
was their, I mean, he was probably their best pitcher, right?
Sandy Alcantara is
Oh,
definitely,
that's
yeah,
right. Yeah,
yeah,
I've
yeah.
yeah.
No, definitely Pablo Lopez is for sure like a solid guy in their rotation. A lot of ground balls, if I'm not mistaken. Not a lot of power in his fastball, so I'm sure he's not going to get lit up necessarily. But he could be a good role for the Twins, a solid rotation guy for them. But just nothing that the White Sox aren't going to be like, oh, great, they got a DeGrom or they got a
Yeah.
Scherzer type guy. They got a guy that's good. It could have a good game and a great game, lock us down or whatever. But there's a lot of potential for him to just get blown up, which is it's not out of the cards for him to get fucked up. So it's good to see that. And another one, again, just another guy that we get to see buy from the Royals, or at least one Royal comes in, and Aroldis Chapman, one leaves in a free agency signing. Alberto Mondesi going to the Red Sox again, just really young guy, gets on base, not a power bat by any means, but just gets on base a ton and really fast, a speedster. So good for the Red Sox to be able to get this guy. And just, again, a big benefit for the White Sox to not have to face him a ton of times throughout the year, not seeing him 16 times, at least 16 games out of the year. So I
It's
think that's a benefit.
Salvador Perez isn't on the Royals anymore,
Salvador
right?
Perez.
He was their catcher.
Yeah, no, he's still there. He's still
Oh,
there.
he is
Yeah,
okay.
he's
I
he's
thought this
obviously
was his.
no, he had that big year, that big power year, the year prior, and then he kind of a little bit of a downtrend this year. I mean, that's just kind of how it is, and good for him just for getting the bag when he did. But I don't think that 38,
Yes.
40 home run season that he had isn't going to happen. I don't think that's going to be duplicated again. I don't think it's just not in the cards.
Hopefully, we can get Yasmani to duplicate his good
Yeah,
season.
I mean,
And
he was dealing with a lot of lingering, nagging injuries that it was some were known to the media, some were just flown under the radar and were just like thrown out in a blurb on a tweet or something like that. But I could just hope that he gets healthy, gets some power back in that bat. I mean, that was really just the Achilles heel for the White Sox all season. No one, no one hit the ball
yeah.
over the fence. That was really the thing. I mean, Jake Berger had been DFA, had been sent down to AAA, and was still leading the team in home game home runs for almost halfway through the season.
Oh
It
my.
was it was really bad. And yeah, just Gavin Sheets going down and coming back up, that helped him get a little bit of pop back into his bat, but just not enough for any one of these guys to get really recognized. I know Jose Abreu, he broke his streak of not having 30 home runs and 100 RBIs for the first time in almost 10 years. And
Wow.
again, him and Andrew Vaughn basically had the same numbers. And if Andrew Vaughn, I think he's got the potential to up those. If this was his rookie year and he had 25 home runs, that's awesome. But he's going to get way more at bats this year, tons more opportunity. I think he'll, at least bring the power back in terms of that stat a little bit. But yeah, I mean, when we got guys rolling out there like Larry Garcia and Romy Gonzalez and I don't know, it just wasn't really in the cards. And Eloy Jimenez, he had a very nice season. I think he's gonna have a nice bounce back on the offensive side. Get him to DH. He said he wants to play in the outfield more. I think we focus on the bat there, Eloy.
Yeah.
Let's pump the brakes
So
there,
you can
guy.
keep running into the wall.
Yeah, we don't need you
Bury
doing that.
yourself.
Yeah, I mean, we got Luis Robert out in center. I think he's one of the best center fielders just in the league in general, defensive wise and on the offensive scale. I know it's tough room when you got Mike Trout out there as well doing the exact same thing. So I can't say he's the best, but of course he's up there with the better tier of guys. So I don't know. We got some pushes and we got some pulls and everything I just mentioned. You got all these guys that you're like, oh, I want them to do better, and you're like, fucking Yohan Moncada didn't show up really, and Yasmani, like you just mentioned earlier, he didn't really have a good power season, or really just didn't show up at all. So you can only hope with Lax and the rest of the AL Central not doing all that much to get better. The Guardians more or less just maintain that they're probably gonna repeat as division winners, but I don't know. I think the Sox can hold their own at some points in time, but I'm not gonna jump in the front of the line and say the Sox are gonna get anything this year. I don't remember what the odds are, but some sports books did have the Sox as favorites to win the Central. I wouldn't advise that. Just as a Sox fan, just wouldn't advise it. Just not good money. 1-800-GAMBLER if you're into shit like that. So I don't know. Like I said, that was a big tangent on the White Sox. I didn't really think I was gonna get into that. But just
We got Billy Hamilton back.
Yeah, got Billy Hamilton back. So there, got him back on the team. So there goes his helmet flying off as he rounds the bases. That's always fun to watch. I mean, yeah, and like I said, just getting into the actual one guy that we did end up signing, Mike Clevinger. He's gone because of a domestic abuse charge.
Yeah, it said with multiple family members.
Yeah, multiple family members. One from his spouse, and there's maybe been some child abuse involved in there.
Yeah, I didn't get too much into it, but yeah, it just seems fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, it's more or less like that, just skimming it and just like not wanting to have a bad taste in my mouth the rest of the day. I didn't deep dive into the article in there as well. Just reading the cliff notes of it. I'm not gonna just sit here and defend him in any sort of sense. Just if it's that much of a distraction, if he did that in any sort of way, just get him off the team, get your money back, and I just call it a day. I'm fine with that. In my mind, he wasn't like, oh man, great, we got Mike Clevinger. That was just another arm that we got. He probably would have been DFA'd by the end of the year. He's just another Dallas. In my mind, he's just like Dallas Keuchel. Just Dallas Keuchel, just able to actually throw a fastball and just he's not throwing everything on the ground, getting what would it be, like 20 outs on the ground or something like that or whatever. So it's just Mike Clevinger, you're a dumbass. You win dumbass of the week. I don't know if you're throwing that out. Just good for you.
Him or Justin Roiland.
Yeah, Justin Roiland. Tough look wearing my
Rick and Morty. I was gonna say you got the Rick and Morty. You got
look.
The poster in the back.
Oh geez, Rick. Can't turn yourself into a pickle on this one, dude. Yeah, well, beloved. Yeah, again, I don't want to get into that and everything, but oh boy, those text messages. Yeah, I'm insane in the membrane, dude. Fucking shout out to Cypress Hill on that one. Fuck.
Morty, we have to go meet up with my underage girlfriend.
Yeah, again, just like what he says at the end, he does a Chinese impersonation.
He's like, "Oh, I'm so shy."
Yeah, no, you can't do that. Like, what are you doing? Just I mean, it's a take that it's not originally from me. Just something I've heard. Just when you're seeing something like that, it may have been he's probably an alcoholic, and he might have just been projecting through his character in Rick and Morty. That's maybe just the artistic view of it. But if you're having stuff like that, who you are. I mean, this isn't like his first bit of fame. He's had Adventure Time and shit like that. So he's been animating and being on TV for years on end. So again, this isn't like the pressure coming down on him or what. I don't know. I'm getting on a tangent. Whatever. Bad move, bad look on Justin Roiland. Get help, man. And yeah, I'm just Rick and Morty. I guess they're gonna continue. It says they're gonna continue.
Yeah.
How? I don't know how. You're gonna just redo the voices of Rick and Morty and every other character that's in there, all the side characters, like, oh,
I guess you could say that they're from a different dimension or something, and
yeah,
it's like, I don't know.
you can do what Squidbillies did, and just when they have I don't know if you know what that show is. They had their character was a white guy, and apparently he said something along the lines of like Barack Obama wasn't a good person, so he got dumped by just Adult Swim and everybody, and they replaced
Oh
him
no.
with oh god, Tracy Morgan. They replaced him with Tracy Morgan for a season, and it's just like just a complete complete change. Like you probably obviously know what Tracy Morgan sounds like, and then to go from just a backwards Southern hick accent to just clearly Tracy Morgan's voice, it was just like it was like a fuck you to the guy and everything that he represented, and just like just something like that. I don't know. I think that's just like a good way to counter that stuff. I don't know. Maybe again going off on a tangent. I didn't want to think. I didn't even thought I was going to talk about. Yeah. Either way, Clevinger, Joe Royland, you're dumb. Another dumbass I can join in Shannon Sharpe on the NBA side. I guess we could transition into this one. I mean, we talk about me and Bill used to talk about this on the Degenerates all the time. When fans would interact and get kicked out of games, that would be we would bring that up just because it would go so viral. Or I mean, in terms of I think it was the Yusuf Nurkic guy said like, "Oh, I hope your grandmother dies," and he like threw his phone, and it was just shit like that. But this one is just so much different because it's a guy that's technically in the media. Shannon Sharpe, he's on Undisputed with Skip Bayless. He's a former athlete, but I guess it's what the Memphis guy said. I forgot his name off the top of my
Dylan
head.
Brooks, I
Yeah,
think.
Dylan Brooks. It's just
Yeah.
it's just Los Angeles, man. It's Hollywood. It's a different world out there. If that happens really any other place, he's kicked out. He's not let back in. It's just egregious that all those instances where people are just probably as low as like, yo, LeBron, you're soft as baby shit. And he's like, hey, get him out. He's out. He's done. Like all those videos where it's just like LeBron like picking who gets to stay and who gets to go in terms of fans. And like I said, there's a ton of instances where it's justified. Like I just said with the Yusuf Nurkic thing of he threw his phone, but it was only because he said he was gonna try he hoped that his grandmother passed away. Like, dude, like, you don't say that. It's just
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. It's a tough look, and I don't know. It's a bad taste in my mouth. I don't like the precedent that it would set that like, oh, because you're famous you get to try and fight the Memphis Grizzlies. I don't see why that's justified in any sort of sense. I mean, he's Shannon Sharpe. He's humongous. He's ripped probably. I don't know how well his health regimen in there, but he looks like he can play in the NFL tomorrow. So it's just shit like that. But it was just like the idea that he could just go up there, challenge these guys basically to a fight. And like you're not on a team. You're not there. You are a fan. You are a spectator. You are nothing more. And just to think that, like, I mean, he apologized on Undisputed. Man, that show's getting a good range of apologies between him and Skip apologized for Damar Hamlin.
Yeah.
But I mean, geez, like again, I don't like it in any sort of way. You're not going to get maybe a new or original take out of me on that, but just I think it's ridiculous, and it's just he should not have been let back in. It's absolutely ridiculous. And again, any regular Joe Schmo
Oh,
does
we're
that,
out.
you're
Banned
arrested. No,
for life.
you're taken down to the ground and arrested in front of 25,000 people, 30,000 people.
You're
However many.
banned for
Oh
life.
yeah, that too. And just the fact that he's let back in. Some are speculating solely because he looks so nice in that cardigan, which again, that's nice cardigan, dude. You got $4,000 cardigan, but it just not justified. I don't like it. I'm still a FS1 guy. ESPN is just a little boring now, but Jesus, like I don't know. It's bad. Anything on this one? Anything?
Um, yeah, I saw the clip of that, and yeah, I didn't think too much into it, but like you were saying, yeah, I mean, if any normal person would have done that, they would have for sure been thrown out. So, That is
They've been handled, of course. I love that Botchamania always uses it, the cutaway with the Simpsons episode where he's on the stage with YouTube. He's like, "It's okay, folks. He's gonna get the help he needs." And this in the name, they show him getting beat up as they're going through the song. He's like, "Yeah, that's probably what happened. What would have happened if he was a normal person?" It's like, "Don't worry, guys. He's gonna get the help he needs in the name of love." Just shit like that. Yeah, just it's ridiculous. I don't even the insanity of everything continues between, I don't know, the world of politics, the world of sports, everything in between. Just everyone's just taking their goddamn crazy pills. Everyone needs to calm down.
Yeah, if you're a celebrity, you can do whatever you
Yeah,
want.
that too.
So
That's yeah, you can get away with murder. So I mean, it's point blank obvious. So if you're good on that, like I said, I had a little bit of NBA prepared, but that one just flew through me and just I had all my notes, just threw it to the side. I was like, we need to talk solely about this. This is ridiculous. I wanted to talk maybe about the Bulls, but they blew it. Had a nice little stretch in Paris. That was a good game, but
They
we gotta
were
get
in
better.
Paris.
Yeah, Bulls on
Who
parade
was
in
in
Paris.
Paris?
Huh?
Who was in Paris?
Bulls. Oh no. Oh no. No, I ain't falling for that one. Still trying to. Hey, I'm trying to maintain these views. By the way, thank you guys for watching it and sharing around, viewing around. That was awesome to see. Just, I mean, like I said, I'll throw it around, throw that name out there. Not getting Mr. Beast numbers, but I'm appreciating. These last two or three episodes that we put up are the highest viewed thing on this YouTube page. So yes, thank you very much. I mean, just continue to do that. Love seeing it. Just, I mean, like I said, just as small and as it is, just to hit that share button or something like that. It takes 5 seconds for you out of your day, and it'll mean the rest of our day if you just do that. So it's nice. It's fun to do that. So yeah, but like I said, it is what it is. We just love doing it here. Love getting together, talk about some sports, and talk about and talk about some wrestling. And that's a good way to cap off the rest of this episode and the way to play this one out. Let me see. I'll get through two little quick ones, and then I'll finish off with the two bigger ones, I suppose. And I got last little comments on some stuff, but not maybe some news, maybe isn't just something I'm throwing out there as of right now. I see CM Punk's roster card on the AEW website has been updated for 2023. So is that I don't want to, I don't want to speculate nothing, and I don't want to get the wheels turning. I don't want to get anyone's hopes up or nothing. I still see CM Punk tweeting and putting up things on Instagram with AEW people, and still keeping it light and stuff like that. Shooting some shots at MJF about when MJF accepted his wrestler rivalry of the year, scratched out CM Punk's name, put his own name again. And then I think CM Punk replied with, "If you can only scratch out your name and put it on the ratings," or something like that. It was something
My
like that.
God.
But I mean, I was, if you want to smoke on a little hopium, I seen this update of a roster card. I'm gonna cross my fingers. I'll leave it at that. I'll cross my fingers. I'm not gonna put anything more into it. Like I said, AEW still is interested. They aren't releasing him from his contract from reports from what I have heard. So again, maybe just wait and see with what FTR wants to do. Maybe get a trios tag run with CM Punk, FTR, and I mean the curtains would come down if it was FTR and CM Punk versus Omega and the Bucks. I mean, that writes itself. I mean, that's there right there. So I'm gonna keep a little hope. I'll stash some hopium on the
The
side.
Packers gave me too much. I'm gonna overdose on opium if I keep getting more.
There you go. I'm gonna have to get a narco can for you with the hopium. Yeah, but something that is for sure, that is confirmed. And I mean, maybe it was a little while ago, but all this stuff always comes at you so fast, so frequently, and so wild that you can't always keep up. So if you're a guy like myself and you love these documentaries and you love all this stuff that is up on Vice, Dark Side of the Ring is going to be returning for another season 4. It was just confirmed recently. Like I said, it may have already popped up on their Twitter or on their Instagram or whatever. I'm sure maybe something like that happened, but a for sure confirmation came from Jim Cornette when just in passing on his podcast while he was talking about something else, he said that the Dark Side of the Ring guys were over at his place interviewing him for whatever it may be. He didn't get into the details on that. I'm sure he couldn't even talk about that even if he wanted to, but just I like hearing that. Just cool that they're getting in the works, they're getting everything set up, they're getting all the interviews and all that process for another exciting season of Dark Side of the Ring. So I mean, are you a big I've encouraged you to watch a couple, but I mean, are you like a big Dark Side of the Ring guy like myself?
I mean, I've seen episodes I haven't
Yeah.
seen like every single. I don't think I've like watched like a full season.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've watched certain episodes that I've
Yeah.
been interested in watching. I've seen it, of
Yeah.
course,
Of
but
course. And I can't sit here and say not every single episode is a home run. I mean, but they're for sure that are just like, damn, that was awesome. Like I can only watch. I can only want to watch that. I mean, if you were
I bet I would like all of them,
oh yeah,
honestly.
yeah,
I
absolutely.
also just don't have that channel, so I always have to rent them whenever I want to watch them. So I'm just like, I'm just gonna rent this one or
Yeah,
like just
yeah,
yeah.
it is tough like that. Yeah, sometimes if you got some sort of whatever the package is on that, yeah, sometimes they're if you're lucky enough, sometimes they're up on YouTube for a little bit. But yeah, again, it is a tough one. I mean, just off the top of my head, the Chris Benoit part 1, part 2, probably one of the best.
Yeah, I
The Owen
watched
Hart,
that.
the Owen Hart one, phenomenal. The Bruiser Brody one, that one's like one of their first season ones. That one's decent. That one's really good. Um,
The New Jack one,
the New Jack one is probably one of my favorites, and then like
yeah.
another good quick one is just like holy shit, what is this? Like the XPW one is just sits in my mind because like so much gnarly shit happened in that one. A guy got his pinky cut off and just like some
Oh my.
yeah, just shit like that. So I just again just when you're it's a nice palate cleanser when you're just like all this if you're like that if you're like all this wrestling all this week I can't deal with it, now it's time to dive back in and go watch some I don't know some big conspiracy that happened in the 90s or something like that. Yeah, so those are always fun. Dark Side of the Ring, big fan of that. So I no exact release date or anything like that, but just good to hear that it's in the works, that it's actually happening. So fun. Not so fun. No, yeah, no, I'll stick with the horrible transition on that. Not so fun is hearing this concerning quotes from Kevin Nash on his podcast. I don't have
Oh,
the exact quote in front of me, but more or less just he's still mourning mourning the loss of his son, and just alluding to the details, alluding the idea that he's going to commit suicide in some sort of aspect. And I'm not the biggest fan of Kevin Nash. I would openly shit on him like probably a couple weeks ago on just like him being involved in WCW and the way that he booked shit and just the way that he probably overall just carried himself around and buried guys and just wasn't the biggest fan of how he conducted business. But hearing this is just you're a human. You don't want to hear another person like that being down, just being upset like that. It's upsetting in all sort of aspects. Again, considering just he lost his son that he was our age. Like it's just that kills you.
yes.
And no one I heard a while back, maybe it was from a movie. It's just, the parent, the mother, father should never bury their son, daughter in any sort of way. That's just not something you want to hear. And just the words that he used on his podcast were again just concerning would be the word to use. And it's just again, I don't want to botch it or throw anything extra that he said in there. It's just he was saying that it's getting harder and harder to wake up in the morning, and he doesn't really see a point. And just something along the lines of he's like I gotta I'll put a gun in my mouth, and then the host popped in and said, hey, like come on, man, that's not cool. He's like, yeah, I'll do whatever the fuck I want or something like that. It's just not a good headspace for Kevin Nash right now, and I can only hope that just someone that steps in and just someone that he actually knows, maybe like a DDP type. I mean, he doesn't really need like, any sort of physical thing, but DDP's help in a lot of aspects. He's helped Jake the Snake out of some trouble mentally, physically. His old pal Scott Hall. Again, I don't really know the relationships for these guys outside of the ring or anything like that, but just a guy like that. It doesn't need to be DDP. Just get he's got friends. Hulk Hogan can step in or something like that. Just maybe get Triple H. He's got to get someone needs to come down there and be like, hey man, like it sucks, and I hate this, but just you gotta keep going, man. It's just I'll never have the correct words for something like that. I have no earthly idea or any experience like that, so it's tough, and that's me saying that now. It's like, oh, yeah, someone can go out there and go do it. I don't know. I can only, that would be my only idea. And again, just me rambling right now. I'm kind of backing myself in the corner, contradicting myself left and right, but it's just not what you want to hear. Just Kevin Nash, just get some help, because people like you, and even a guy like me that's not a fan of your work or necessarily, you still want humans to be happy and okay and stuff like that. So just find the help, and everybody else too in that same sort of headspace. Just take the time, talk to somebody, find something, find someone, because there's always someone out there that can be like that. And it's just, and you might not even know who, and you might be that lucky person that they stumble upon. And like you said, it's just, I don't know. It's just, there's always help. There's always somewhere to find. So again, it's a tough one to linger on, to think about it. Again, having so negative stuff with Jay Briscoe passing away so suddenly, and just when stuff like that pops up, it's just like you don't hear in the negativity. So just again, just ton of outlets. There's so many other resources to get help. So I just can only hope that Kevin Nash does do something like that. There's tons of people that love him. So
yeah,
that's I'll leave it at that. And last little thing, wrestling wise, we can get on out of here. And like I said, a little bit of a lighter note. A lot of death in this episode, a lot of sad feelings on this point, but just I guess this, like I said, a little bit better, not so negative. If you guys caught Wrestle Kingdom, New Japan, probably a very good pay-per-view from what I understand, just off the top of my head. Just tons of stuff had been going on, so just didn't really pay attention to it. The one I did see was Kaito. I'm gonna butcher this one so bad, and I apologize. Kaito Kaimiya. I'm just gonna spell it. Kaito is his first name. KiyomiyA is his last name. He absolutely booted Okada just directly in the face. Okada proceeds to give him the receipt and just fuck him up on the table outside. And they just went back and forth. And really all I have to say about it is, in terms of if it's like, oh, I don't know this guy, maybe it's just not a jobber necessarily. New Japan just doesn't throw jobbers out with their number one guy in Okada, but that's exactly my point. Okada is your number one guy. You don't fuck him up. You don't accidentally fuck him up. You say sorry, you take your whooping, and when he went and got it, when Okada gave him his receipt, buddy guy came back, still stiffed him, dumped him on his head on the outside. It was a shit show. I'm glad they're over it, and Okada didn't get seriously injured. I hope Kaito just basically just goes away after that. I mean, if you're doing that type of things, no one's gonna want to work with you. It's just as simple as that, especially in the Japan type of setting where it's just more,
and doing it to someone like Okada.
Yeah, he is their face, like he is their moneymaker. He is like their Hulk Hogan times 10. He is the only, like, for I don't know, for if you just showed him to a not so, even to a WWE fan, you're like, hey, maybe he did something. I'm sure maybe he faced Kenny. I know Kenny does this, just anything like that. Like, people know Okada whether they know it or not. So to put him up in front of this guy, and he thinks he's going to make his name for himself doing this, shooting on him or whatever, bad look. You're dumb. I still don't know your name after this. So there you go. If that was your end goal, you failed. Still don't know who you are. Don't know what you represent. I'm Team Okada all the way through. If it's a matter of picking sides, because Okada is better than you. He's better than a lot of people over there. like I said, he's the horse. He's the guy that they put the company on their back and give him the title. So yeah, that's that. Just let Okada. You get beat the fuck out of by Okada, and you like it. You take it. You like it, and then that's it. That's as simple as that. You don't
We've
get
had
the.
the privilege of seeing Okada twice.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, no, again, yeah, at all in, and then Forbidden Door, correct? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, it's amazing. He is so good. He's so awesome. So to think that like, oh, you're gonna break my nose and I'm just gonna be with a mask on or out of action for X amount of day. No, I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you. And then yeah, just like went in like, oh, was that real? Like, yeah, he was very much pissed off after the match.
Yeah, you could
I don't
tell
speak
immediately.
Japanese, but I can tell when someone's upset. And he was fucking pissed off. And it's again, just along the lines of like, again, kind of just like sitting there contradicting ourselves, like, oh, who's justified the bigger celebrity in this sense? Yeah, if it's not Shannon Sharpe or whatever, yeah, the bigger guy here gets the justification. Yeah, Okada, you give him the title. He's the face of your company, not this guy doing whatever. So bad look on him. I think that's just bad. Yeah, I don't know. Did I send you the footage? Did I show you? Were you able to
Yeah,
see it
I saw
yourself?
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what are you doing? Just a stiff boot right to the face. The looked like the referee was like actually trying to cool everybody down, but just gone by the wayside. So bad. I mean, I'm just glad that no one got seriously messed up from it. No serious injury or busted up faces, busted noses, or anything like that. There we go. And that was basically that. That was wrestling. That's just about the end of this episode right here. I wanted to end just because overall this is a mixture of a little bit of a downer trend of an episode, just because we talked about some heavier stuff. Want to end on a positive note, kind of bouncing back in between some stuff. Frankie Muniz, Malcolm in the Middle. I don't know if you watched that show. I was kind of into
Yeah.
that. That was like a good Fox middle of the day type show. Frankie Muniz is actually going to be competing as a NASCAR driver. If you didn't already hear about this, broke a couple days ago. Don't know exactly what events he's going to be racing in or whatever. The names of these and whatnot. But I'm sure I'll catch him one time or two when he's in there. I think he's in the Amco car again. Just whatever. I'm sure whatever article you pop up, first thing you'll see is Frankie Muniz NASCAR.
Yeah.
You'll get all your information right away because this sounds awesome. anything on Frankie Muniz? Anything big Malcolm in the Middle? Favorite highlights from that show?
Not necessarily, but
I know it's a tough one off the top of your head.
but I did see that. I thought that was pretty cool. My mom has met him before in Arizona,
Oh, sick.
randomly, just like they were just at a mall or something, and she was just like, "Hey, it's Frankie Muniz," and they have a picture together. So
That is like one of those like I don't know if I would want to necessarily meet George Clooney because like I wouldn't be able to sit down and talk with him. So like because he's George Clooney, everyone can recognize him, but it's just like, is that Frankie Muniz? That's fucking Frankie Muniz over there. And then you can go over there and
yeah,
probably talk to him for like a minute or two. You're like,
no, yeah,
yeah. So that's
seems
like a
like he's
cool
really
celebrity to
cool.
meet.
So yeah,
Yeah. It's like a cool, low, like humble guy to go talk to. So that's pretty cool. And I know that some weird thing is like he had maybe some injury or he doesn't remember half of
yeah.
the stuff.
There's some weird something
So
like
yeah,
that.
maybe
Yeah.
keep the questions light on Malcolm in the Middle trivia, but but still probably a cool guy to either run into it anyway. So
Oh
yeah.
yeah, he seems like a very energetic person.
Yeah, absolutely. Last little thing to cap off with, it's something that you ended up and said like your final goodbyes. You said check out The Last of Us, and I did. It was absolutely awesome. Just not to spoil anything or just keep it on the light end because I know we're probably pushing like 2 hours right now. It was great. I mean, I would recommend it. I haven't played the video game, but I do. You sent me something. You informed me, and I just scrolling through. A lot of people are like, "Oh man, this is just like the game." There's basically a shot for shot rendition of scenes and cutaways. So that was pretty cool. I mean, I love the storyline. For those just basically just virus infestation type deal, and basically just this guy trying to survive through the thick of it, trying to overcome and overcome all the obstacles from that. So maybe I'm doing a piss poor job of describing it, but I'm just trying to stay as spoil free as possible. For those who know, they probably already know what The Last of Us is. So this
Yeah.
was awesome. A great recommendation. Everyone's been popping off about it online. So I'm just glad I can get into it when I can and not get spoiled right away like everybody else is on stuff like
Yeah, if
that.
there's
So
people out there that are like, "Oh, I've never played the game, so I didn't watch the show or something," like, no, just watch the show. You don't
yeah,
have to play the game at all to enjoy it. It's so awesome. I mean, I've been watching it with my brother who's never played the game. He just doesn't have PlayStation,
yeah,
but yeah, I mean, he loves it. It's awesome.
yeah.
It's been so cool. I'm glad HBO Max is the one that picked this up because they're
HBO kills
spending
it. HBO fucking
yeah.
kills it. They do
They're spending
everything
like
right.
$10 million an episode to make sure everything looks great. And I mean, you can tell it's
Oh yeah,
everything looks amazing. And like they've
yeah,
had just crazy ass shit happen, like both episodes. Everything, it's just been so awesome. So
yeah.
for and like Nick was saying, they have been staying so true to the game, which is awesome because there's always these show or TV or like movie adaptations of games and they never stay true to the material and everybody hates it like Resident Evil or Halo or like any like it's just you name it like there's been so many they try to
I
make
mean, even
something
like as successful as it was, The Walking Dead still got chirped because it wasn't going along the same lines as the comic book and stuff
yeah
like that.
exactly
So
yeah but this is like staying so true to the game and it's adding even more onto it that you don't get from the game and it's just, like it's so cool I can't even it's just so awesome
that is
it's
awesome. Yeah, like I said, like we were saying, just like before we got on this episode. Oh, excuse me. There's like certain parts of it where like it kind of trails off in the show or they like go do something. I'm like, oh, this would definitely be a part where I can go wander off and go search for things like, oh, this is where the knife is, this is where the lights are, this is where this
hmm
is. And like when I'll keep it brief, but like when that woman goes to go clear some rocks out from, she has to go clear some debris. She goes, "Oh, you're not going. You're our money, so I gotta go." So I'm thinking like that was definitely a scene where you can go wander around, go talk to go talk to Joel, and then do some shit like that. So just it's fun to see stuff like that, and just overall, it looks visually pleasing, and the storyline is awesome, and the acting is amazing. Because I mean,
yeah
the guy that plays Joel, I don't know the name of him.
Pedro Pascal
Kills it in Game of Thrones, kills it in The Mandalorian. So I mean, just yeah, it's just
yeah
everything you
that
want.
guy's awesome
He's very talented.
he's
Very
one of
talented.
this generation's like he's one of the
The
best
the
actors
only thing
we
I will
have
say, I'm gonna sound like my dad on this one. A little bit too much swearing. A little too much swearing. It's just like not like like, oh man, what are they doing? It's just like the kid just swears when she just doesn't need to, and maybe that's just like in
it's just
my
because
mind.
that's just how she is in the game
Yeah, and
she
I'm
has a
just like that's
very
just also how kids are.
rambunctious
They
like
just swear
spontaneous
excessively and they don't know how to use it. I don't know. Maybe again, that was just like the most critiqueiest critique I can think of. It's just like they're really just throwing around fuck. It just doesn't when I like that word. That's why I love swearing. Everyone loves swearing. It's just that you lose the impact and the oomph of it when you use it so often. That's why I'm gonna try and swear a little bit less on here. So when I say fuck, it actually makes a little bit more of an impact. And just yeah, just that was just the only drawback that I saw on that. It didn't take me out of the show at all. It's just like, damn, they're really just going to town. There are a bunch of pirates hanging out at this fucking little thing. So, it's I just like I said, I sound like an old person saying that. It's no problem to me, but again, just good
Oh,
show,
that's fine, man.
everything. Yeah, just I'm
Fuck
sure
the
they'll
haters.
I'm sure they'll clean it up a little less of a potty mouth as it goes on. So yeah, either way, that's a good way to wrap up this episode number 3 of No Substitute for Sports. Thank you for joining in, sharing us around. If you just stumbled upon this, again, thank you for joining us on that. Alan, take your notes. Troy, keep sending stuff in and doing everything right. Go Kentucky. All that fun stuff. Thank you for joining me again, Mike, as always,
Of
taking the time out of your
course,
day.
man. Of
Yeah, this is
course.
always fun, always exciting to do. And I guess until next time, we'll be checking in after the AFC and NFC championships and whatever else seems the world of sports seems to offer us. So until then, take care of yourself and each other. Woo.